All right, this is kind of what it's all about. This, you know, I get chills. It makes me real happy, you know, that our winner of the freestyle class in Michigan, sponsored by Star Motorcycles for the Ultimate Builder Custom Bike Show, goes to our number 5 entry, Customs Inc., Gary Moore. Good job. If you look at Gary's bike and the time and attention to detail, his see-through oil tank. That's fun. No, stand on your head. And it's But real nice job. You know, you could see the influence from Ron on the paint and the little details when it comes to the floorboards, the air cleaner and struts. Definitely the Ron Finch. This bike was part of the Lichter display in Sturgis this past year. Excellent job. You know, and I mean, it was pretty clever to kind of have the holes going through the tank like that. But the way it was radiused in, the way the paint accented that to match the eyeball effect and the whole deal, pretty special job. It was really well thought out and better executed. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
This is Bob Cade from the Ultimate Builder Custom Bike Show. We're here in Michigan, and I have with me Gary Maurer, who is our winner of the freestyle class. You know, our freestyle class is the ultimate in custom bike building, and it really takes a step above in terms of dedication, imagination to get the winning trophy in this particular class. Very unique presentation on your bike, Gary. I know you had that on display at Sturgis this year with Michael Lichter. Let's talk a little bit about some of those design elements and how you brought that all together for such a complete execution.
Well, that kind of started from, I based it off like a 30s Indian. I had a tin sign that she got as a get well card from her bike accident. And I'm looking at that and I thought, you know, Lichter invited us to do this bike for the Eternal Combustion. I was teamed up with Ron Finch. Ron's brought his stuff over to my shop the last couple bikes, built his frames and stuff in my shop. So we helped Ron build his bike. He helped us on this a little bit. And I looked at this thing and I thought, you know, in 1930, if you would have fell asleep, you would have woke up in 2010, burned a couple with Ron, had a few beers, what would you come up with, you know? And that was my interpretation of what I thought they would come up with. And the other thing I had is I had to take this bike and put it on display. 30 builders in the world got invited to build for this art exhibit. So I had to go there with Arlen Ness, Paul Yaffe, Ron Finch, Olson's. You know, we had, you name the players and the people, Clockworks, Pirouettes, and all these bikes. And I had to build a bike that would stand out in that crowd and make something that Ron and Michigan would be proud of. So that's what we come up with. I try to, you know, we build everything in-house that we can build. I lean on all my friends that we can lean on, and that was our interpretation of a modern version. I had an Indian motor from the Crazy Horse guys. We had the same tires that Indian Larry runs on his, which are the Pirelli Route 66s. I wanted the black rim because the old Indians had black rims with chromes with stainless spokes. So we, you know, Ride Right got us some wheels that looked like the old stuff. I had a bunch of big old ugly headlights. I went over to Finch's house, and if you've ever rooted around in his basement, it's like a gold mine. So I'm digging around. I had all these big Rolls Royce headlights and all kinds of stuff. And we settled on a 37 Chevy headlight, 37 Chevy tail light. You know, we made the frame, the fenders, the seat. Julie did, you know, most of the sheet metal work. We handmade all of our own gas tanks, the controls. I took it over to Ron's. I had trouble sleeping because I didn't want to leave it there too long because he gets really crazy on some of this stuff, Ronnie. Don't you, Ron? No. So I waited until he started to take a nap. I went home, slept for 4 hours, and drove back before I knew he got up. So it didn't, because he'd have like the gas tank welded on the front fender or something, which his stuff, I adore him and the stuff's cool, but it's not exactly my style. So to mix my style, his style, and come off with some Indian parts and do something that the average person isn't going to do was hard to come up with. So that was our inspiration and envision for that bike.
Well, I think you pulled that off, you know, and knowing Ron's style and trying to marry that into a cleaner, more traditional style, you really did a good job at that. You know, part of what we're trying to do here at the Ultimate Builder Show is help the builders promote their businesses, because unlike some of the traditional bike shows, we get a much larger attendance here. Were we able to help you in terms of grow your business or any contacts that you made this weekend?
Yeah, one of the main things I got Jack talked into, you know, I got him he's going to put me on his beneficiary's life insurance policy, because his shop's by my shop, and I think he's gone past my shop at over 200 miles an hour, because you hear this, and then you hear it going back the other way. I don't know how he makes the corner. So that was the biggest thing, is I know one of these days I'm going to be rich, because Jack building all that turbo stuff next doors, I don't think he's going to live long. But on the other hand, you know, we had a lot of builders come up, and almost every single builder that was here, we all know each other, you know, and it's good to get out and see people. And like Jack said, I mean, our shops are a quarter, half mile away from each other. We had to drive 75 miles, compete against each other just to see each other. And I had a lot of people come up. One guy had an Indian motor. He didn't know how to plumb the oil system, so I told him, you know, how to do that. And we had quite a few people. Jeweler tried buying my bike, and he wanted to trade diamond rings for it. Didn't work. So, you know, there was a lot of good people here, and there was a lot of good interest in what was going on here. And I too had been to this show before and wasn't kind of ever really going to come back. And then when I saw, you know, Bob K was involved, now I can kiss your ass a little bit and get away with it. And when I saw you were involved, I knew it would be something good, and it's something that we should do and try to support the industry. Keep people involved, keep people enthused, and see what we could do, you know. And the only sickening part is when I put my bike on the kickstand and then started looking down the road, there's Stevenson, you know, there's Doomtown, and Jack's bike, you know, and then Steve rolls in another bike, and then you got Don, and you start looking at these bikes, you know, it makes you wonder if you can actually pull it off and win. So it really makes you feel good to win this when you look at the caliber of bikes that came to the show.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And you know, we've talked a lot about how when you have teams putting together these bikes and how important your partner in life can be in getting this done. And I know that Julie really has a piece of that bike that is part of a very interesting story. And if you could just give us the short version, we'd like to hear about that, because I think that's a great story.
Okay, short version, coming home from a funeral, she hit a deer at 70 on a Harley, did not go down. We didn't see the deer, we'd looked over our shoulder for an entrance ramp. She hit it, almost lost her left leg, didn't crash the bike, kept it up. They gave her a 50% chance of losing her leg, so a year later they took all the hardware out. So I got this little bag from the hospital. It's got this titanium rod. I come from the race car background. I'm like, man, I got to use that. So we've got $40,000 in this 12-inch piece, 11mm diameter titanium rod that's now the shift linkage, and that's the part that came out of her leg is now the shift linkage on this bike.
Well, I'm telling you, there's a story about dedication, a team effort that just goes down in the custom bike building history. So we really appreciate you coming down and you know, bringing your friends and everybody. Thanks again. Hope to see you next year. Wouldn't mind seeing you in Daytona either.
We're going to try. Chop Doc's is working at it. We're trying to figure out how to get down there for you guys. He's working me. He said he needed to win to get the money. Now I got to pay for all the damn gas.
As long as you're there. Thanks again, Gary.
Thanks a lot, Bob.